Hiya then folks, welcome to Boating on a Budget. What we're doing today, Dawn?
Fiberglassing.
Fiberglassing. As I'm sure you saw on the last episode, we prepped all the roof and we're as good as we can be. Ready to start it, aren't we? And we've got everything here, all the wet systems, epoxy and matting. First job then is going to be to cut the matting to the right sort of sizes that we need for the repairs that we're doing. And then it's mixing time. What we've got is a good quality matting. It's called a biaxial, and I'll see if we can show it close up on camera, but in effect some strands go that way and some go that way, so when it's all wetted out and set, it's really strong. So it feels quite nice, doesn't it?
It's good, isn't it?
So let's unroll a bit so we can cut the right size piece off. Got some measurements written here. What we're basically wanting for each repair is probably 2 or 3 sheets. So we're going to cut them in advance so that we're ready to go. So the first one we need is 102 centimetres long. Let's have a look, see how long this is. So we will get it at that. So if we cut 33 centimetres, we've got a pair of scissors there. Let me do this end first. In fact, if I hold it, can you just put a snip with the scissors?
Yeah?
Yeah. Do the same down this end. And we're definitely winging it today, aren't we? As you probably know, and we've said in the past, we've never done any of this before, so this is definitely not a how-to, is it? This is a how we think we might get away with doing it.
Have you got a clean piece of wood?
I've got this here.
Oh.
If you want to cut that, then I'll go and try this on the roof, just make sure it's the right size, and then we need to cut 2 more that are just slightly smaller on each one, yeah?
Try not to man angle it because it does stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, so as what we're already finding is as you handle it, if you're not careful, it's kind of twisting and pulling into it, so we need to obviously be really gentle as we're handling it. That's sort of piece number 1. I must say as well, this is quite thick. So we were planning on doing 3 layers, but already looking at it, this is kind of a double layer anyway. So I am wondering if we'll only need 2 layers, but we'll cut all 3, because what we're going to find is, obviously we need to mix the epoxy up, the resin, and once we start with that, we can't really stop. We need to finish each repair, so we need everything prepared, don't we? I have got a feeling we're either going to start mixing and it's going to go on perfect and we're going to wonder what we've been worrying about, or in about an hour's time we're going to be filming.
I'm going to be stood like that because I'm covered in epoxy resin. You're having to carry me about because I'm a statue.
So that would appear to be step 1 completed, which is cutting the matting. So just to recap there, we've now got 3 pieces, all slightly smaller than the first. So we've got the first one that's the full size of the repair, the second one that's slightly smaller than that, and the third one that's slightly smaller than that. Before we get going, because as we actually mix the resin and start going for it, we'll probably not really have much chance to talk us way through, but in essence we put the big one on, wet that through so that there's loads of resin on there, and that's all soaked in and starting to grip to the fiberglass that's already on. We then get the next one and lay that on top in the middle, again then wet that all the way through with the fiberglass resin, and then we do the same with that one, put that one in the middle of that and wet that one through. The idea being, because the bigger one is on the bottom, that's got plenty of overlap onto those areas that we dished out, and that'll stick to that, that one will stick to that, that one will stick to that, and it all becomes one solid roof. That's the theory.
I like how you're talking the talk.
Yes, we can talk the talk because we've watched loads of videos on what we should do. Whether we can walk the walk, we're about to find out.
Well, we can only try.
This then is basically the gubbins of it all, the epoxies and things. So if you want to start opening that one up, that's the actual resin and things. These are the pumps that go onto those, and these make sure we get the right mix, because we need the right amount of epoxy to the right amount of hardener. And instead of having to measure it out into little cups and things, the idea is you put one of these, the big one on the big bottle, the small one on the smaller bottle, and then one pump of each gives the right ratio.
Yeah. And always read the instructions leaflet.
Yeah, always read that. So I'm guessing that goes in there, which is not good when we're starting to guess already. That goes in there, that's the one that will go on that bottle. If Dawn would like to do the honours with that. That's what will go on that bottle. I did buy some cups for mixing. Yeah, it's fine. It's just the tin's not actually full, but I think it's because they work out how much you need for in comparison to that.
Tin's not full?
Yeah, I did buy some cups for mixing, but again, this were like my clamps. I ordered them, and on the picture on Amazon they look like that big, and actually they're no good. So we've had to resort to, we've got some little plastic cups there that we're going to use for mixing in. But the one thing that is in here, if I can wrestle my way in. Oh, there we go. Are some stirring sticks. And what we know from research is, once we've put, let's say we do a pump of that to a pump of that, and then we stir it, and you need to stir it for 2 minutes to get a good mix. Main stirring job is going to be down to Dawn.
Where's my phone? I need a 2-minute timer.
While Dawn's getting her phone then, so we've got that 2-minute timer, I'll be taking these out and putting them where we need them. What I'll also need over there is a brush, and we've got this magic roller that's like a paint roller but without the foam on it. It's just got lots of little ridges, and that forces the fiberglass down and forces any air out of it. So if you set your timer up for 2 minutes, what we're actually going to do is, like I say, you do one pump of that to one pump of that, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to do 3 lots of one pump.
Right.
Because the size of the repair that we're doing, we don't really know how far this goes, but the size we're doing, I'm sure one pump and one pump ain't going to be enough. So we'll do 3 pumps of each, and to start with, we're both going to do a mix, and then whilst I'm applying that mix,
I can be mixing next one.
you can be mixing the next one, and we'll see how we go.
Right.
But what we first off need to do is prime the pump, which if we've got one of them little tubs, We need to just give these a little squirt until we start getting. See there, that's come through. And again, that's come through. So we know those pumps are now primed. So as we give them the press, it's going to dispatch the right amount. Being a tight Yorkshireman, we can mix that together and use that little bit. Time to do it. So, like we said, 1 pump of each is an equal amount. So if we go 1 pump of that, to 1 pump of that, to 1 pump of that. We do apologise for the background noise created by the scrapyard next door. In reality, we can actually barely hear that while we're working. But I think with having the camera so high, that meant the microphone was also way up in the sky, and obviously it picked up the sound a lot more than normal. So as Dawn's now finishing mixing those first 2 batches, our initial reaction is we're going to need loads of resin, aren't we? These first 2 batches here, I think really to start with, we're going to try pouring a bit on and then pushing it in. And what we're now going to do is Dawn's going to start immediately doing another mix. We reckon we've got about 8 minutes work time with this, so time is off at the end. Getting plenty of resin in there. This seems to be the key to good fiberglassing, is how much resin you actually get soaked right into this matting. Hopefully the camera's getting enough detail to pick up. You can see it's kind of, it's almost breaking down the matting as it soaks into it. Which is where, fingers crossed, it's doing its scientific magic and adhering fully to that layer that's underneath. And I must say, initial reactions are, Dawn needs to mix loads of fiberglass up, because I don't think these are even going to do. Just sealing around the edges, never mind adding extra layers and getting that middle bit done. Pour that up there. Is that second mix, have you done a larger mix?
I've done 5.
Yeah. So Dawn's done 5 pumps on each container on this next mix. And in essence what we're going to just keep doing is, I'm going to keep working it in and adding the layers as Dawn keeps mixing it up. Got the next one done. I am happy how it's going on in actual fact. It seems to be going exactly as we'd planned, or how we'd researched, etc.
Has it soaked right in?
It's soaking right in. It is now, I think, just going to be a case of getting that resin on here. I must say as well, on these initial repairs, we're looking for it to be waterproof. We're not necessarily looking for a nice pretty finish. A nice pretty finish will be a bonus, but waterproof is the key. So on that first bit, I think I now need to get my roller . Fingers crossed, all the people who know what they're on about, who are watching this now, are all going, aren't they doing a great job? Not, oh no, what have they done that for? But I guess by the time we find out that reaction,
too late.
it's a bit too late. And we might already know, because it might have rained and it might have all leaked or peeled off. But no, I must say, so far, I am actually thinking it's somewhat going to plan. I think we might just need one more mix just to get it good. No, do a mix of. No, do five. Let's not be tight. Stop being a tight Yorkshireman. In fact, no, do three.
Am I doing 3 or 5?
3. I think, as we can see, as I'm really forcing this roller in, you're basically losing the colour of the matting, which I'm guessing means it really is well soaked through. It's all kind of adhering together. Dawn's just doing that last mix now, which I think I'll just run over the top as an insurance policy, if you like. Is that the last mix done then?
Yeah.
How do you think it's looking from there?
It looks marvellous. Better than I expected it to look.
So the key from what we've been researching is getting it all wetted out properly.
Yeah.
Obviously, as far as we can tell, the prep work we did was up to standard.
2 bubbles in it there.
Where?
One up there. You see it?
Here?
Yeah. One there. Yeah.
Is this like when you're painting a picture and eventually you just have to say,
Enough
stop?
is enough, yeah. think you should stop now.
Just got these, just seeing these little flare bubbles on my engine force. Yeah, so I think as we can see, we've pretty much got a consistent colour of the wood shining through. I think we've pretty much got any air bubbles out, and I think it's kind of meant that it's fully wetted all the way through. So I think you'll just need to set that off to stop me playing. And the important job now is, let's have a brew. That's then the first two repairs done, and they seem to have gone to plan, setting up nicely. Are we impressed?
Very. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. We don't think we've got any issues. We think it's all gone on alright, it's smoothed out alright. I guess now the proof of the pudding is just
In the setting.
let it set and make sure it sets and adheres how it should do.
Yeah.
I see you've got a brew there though.
I've always got a brew.
I shall have a look round, see if I've got one somewhere as well. That's the final part of the repairs done then. But this has kind of been filmed over sort of 7 or 8 days, hasn't it? It's sort of about a week or so since we started. That first day we did them couple of repairs that we've shown you in detail how we did it all. But then we ran out of resin, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we had to order more resin, wait for that to come, etc. Then we did this top repair, and then a couple of days ago just sort of patched these ones in. And it seems to have held up alright, doesn't it?
I think it's brilliant.
It's gone probably...
I think you've done an amazing job.
Yeah, probably gone better than we actually expected.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if we now just show you what's happened sort of in the last day or so, you can see just how well it has gone.
Only time would tell. It's absolutely bouncing it down. Let's have a look at these repairs. Well, there's no water on my sides anymore. My cooker's all dry. Table's not got a soak in. Roof is definitely dry. And the major one across the middle that seems to be holding out.
So that was actually filmed yesterday morning when it was obviously raining. And it was proper raining, wasn't it?
Oh, it bounced it down.
And since then it's rained a lot more. And as you can see from this cup that kind of accidentally got left out, this was left out when we'd done the final repair, so sort of 48 hours ago.
2 days ago.
And that's how much rain we've had. And there's not a single drop of water inside the boat, is there?
It is
where
bone
we've done
dry.
these repairs,
Absolutely
it is
bone dry.
absolutely dry. So I think we can kind of little pat on the back and say, we did it.
We've done it.
Something that we really weren't looking forward to, because although, like we said, we'd done loads of research, until you actually do it, you just don't quite know what it's going to be like, do you? But it seems to have come out all right. I guess the longer term will tell us, you know, as we start moving the boat about, as things get knocked and what have you, just to make sure that that bond has took place and it has thoroughly stuck to what's underneath. All we're going to do for this year is just a bit of fiberglass primer and then sort of paint it in this blue, isn't it? Although it's not a perfectly smooth finish all round. Obviously, like we've said, next year we're going to kind of go to town on the outside.
We weren't going for looks, were we?
No, this was just purely about getting it watertight.
Absolutely, yeah.
And next year we're going to put a little fancy dress on her, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna smarten her up and make her look lovely.
Yeah.
So next year when we come to do that, we'll kind of maybe put bits of filler into it and sort of a bit of a sand over and things. But at least just to smarten it up for the rest of this year. Bit of fiberglass primer.
I'm happy with it.
Bit of paint, yeah, and I think that'll do us. Hopefully, everyone's liked this vlog as much as we've actually ended up liking doing it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are already subscribed to the channel, which is free. What do they do when they're already subscribed?
Ding the bell.
Ding the little bell. That means you get notifications each time we put a video on. And when do we normally put videos on?
Thursday at 3.
Thursday at 3. We try to put one a week on, and it's normally Thursday at 3. And obviously sometimes we don't get a video done that week, depending on what we've been doing. Sometimes we get 2 or 3 on now.
Yeah.
But the general slot, Thursday at 3. However, I can now feel it's starting to rain again. There's just a few drops coming down. So I think it's time we went inside and made a brew. And we'll see.
Take your it then.
Oh, I'm going to have to make brew. We'll see you all later then, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.